Broadcasting from the basement of La Penta, it's WICR.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Vault. Jersey Joe Archino and Big Shot Rob with you one last time. Part 2 of our final show. And Rob, you were doing a little bit of a nice moves. You know, I hear the vocals, and they've certainly improved. And all you can really ask for in life is to improve. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Rob, when I look at you freshman year, from your singing abilities in the studio to senior year, you've improved tremendously. So, Rob, you deserve a big congratulations for that. You're going to pursue a career in that.
Oh, my singing career, you know, I don't think I should, Joe. What? Oh, wow.
Wow, Rob.
My laptop just took over and is speaking on its own.
We've got the Sports Vault playing on the Sports Vault. I can honestly say that has never happened during our 4-year run, so that's kind of cool. The Sports Vault on the Sports Vault.
So here's the thing. I'm going back now. I can't sing. You know what happened, Joe, one time? You want to hear a good story?
I want a good story. Let's entertain the audience. Let's hear a good story.
We were playing Beatles rock band in my house, you know, just busting some moves. I'm playing with my guitar.
I like it.
I grabbed the mic, I start singing, and we were singing Yellow Submarine. All of a sudden, Grandma comes upstairs. Who sounds like a dead animal singing right now? And I'm like, what? I'm like, Grandma?
That's harsh, Grandma.
Yeah, like the career was done right there.
Wow.
I mean,
so she just totally crushed your dreams right there.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing we don't like to do here on the Sports Vault is crush people's dreams. We like to give people hope, but Rob...
Hey, I should have learned after the Wizard of Oz. I should have stopped singing. I started with an accent after singing Wizard of Oz music for some reason.
Believe it or not, I did hear you sing the Tin Man song today, and it wasn't bad, Rob. It had potential. It tremendously did. But, Rob, let's reminisce a little bit here. I mean, I think one of the questions people have asked me the most is, what's your most memorable show? What's your most memorable segment? I think for me personally, I think my favorite show we ever did was for the first radiothon we were ever a part of. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny because the show, historically, the Sports Vault has always been on a Friday. I think the first 3 years we did it, it was always on a Friday.
Yeah.
So then that Saturday was Relay for Life, and our radiothon, for people who don't know, our radiothon typically runs from 6 p.m. to about 6 a.m. the next morning. Rob and I had, I think, what we have, a 2-hour time slot, and it was the first time we really ever did a show for more than an hour, and the two of us were kind of nervous about it, like, man, can we really talk for 2 hours? But the 2 hours went by incredibly fast, and I think we both kind of looked at each other and said, we could have gone longer.
Yeah, we did.
And it really was just, it went flawlessly, and I think one of my favorite things is we kind of always stuck to the same format, sports, but we ventured out a little. We talked movies. We talked our favorite sports movies of all time. And I think kind of opening it up to a different way of looking at the show, that to me was probably my favorite one of all time, although we have so many. But what about you?
I liked our Heroes for Brandon show.
That was great, yeah.
That was great. Me, you, and Armand. And, you know, that show, I think, not only did it, I mean, we worked great as a team, but I think the inspiration that was given to us because of Brandon.
Yes.
Because of what he was going through, and I think it really touched all three of us that day, and we really stuck it as a team that day.
We did. It's really one of those things too, where it's something radio can do. It's something that makes this station right here so unique. Is that you could use a platform like that to put a smile on a kid's face and to help out with an event like that. I mean, I almost, that one I didn't really think about this morning when I was doing all the prep for today, but that is certainly got to be up there in one of those most memorable ones of all time. And I think now that we're on the subject of movies, Rob, you know, we'll shy away from the sports a little bit, but a little bit of a big movie comes out tomorrow. We're going to have Captain America versus Iron Man. Now, again, this is going away from the sports a little bit for now, but I think it's an important thing to make, Rob. You're Team Captain America, correct?
Yes.
I'm Team Captain America as well. My question is this, Rob, though. Who in the world could pick against Captain America? How could you go against a guy who bears the name America in his title?
I know one person.
Who,
my father.
Really? He's Team Iron Man?
My father, Joe, is a huge Iron Man collector with comics back in the day. He loves him. All the time when I talk about superheroes, my dad's like, you want comedic, you want really funny, you want a guy who's going to just make you laugh, you want a guy who's going to do like some sick stuff, look at Iron Man.
I got nothing against Iron Man, but when Iron Man goes up against Captain America, you don't pick against Captain America. You can have quarrels with other people in the Marvel Universe, but not Captain America. And we might have your dad coming by, so we might have to put some heat on him, Rob. That's not cool. You don't pick against Captain America.
You know what his answer is going to be, right?
What's his answer going to be?
I can't stand Captain America with the politeness. My dad hates that. He said that Captain America was too proper of a superhero for him. But that's what he's supposed to represent.
Exactly.
That's what he's supposed to be.
I think it's kind of, I mean, it's really cool, and the movie I think is going to be really good. I'm excited to see it, where you have kind of both Marvel teams kind of split against each other. Ant-Man is on Iron Man's side. I think you've got Falcon on Captain America's side, Black Widow on Captain America's side. Spider-Man, surprisingly, going to Iron Man's side. You would think an iconic character like Spider-Man, patrolling the streets of New York City, would go to another American hero's side.
The question is, though, do we know that yet? Because in the
That's
trailer,
very
we
true.
did see him take the shield, but we don't know if he's throwing it at
He might
Iron
be
Man.
taking it back.
Ooh.
What if, yeah. Because based on everything that we've seen in the trailers, it seems like Captain America has a little bit more of a push in his direction. It seems like Captain America's usually the one in the winning seat, but we don't know. I was just more disgruntled at the fact that I saw more people picking Team Iron Man than I thought should have been okay. It's just not cool, Rob.
I mean, they might just. I mean, you know what's so cool about Iron Man? I love Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd. You have War Machine, which is actually pretty cool too. And I mean, you might have Spider-Man. Black Panther's on their side too, right?
Yes, he is on their side.
Yeah. So I mean, that's actually cool. Now we got a lot more superheroes coming into this movie.
You just got to put them all there, and people will go and watch. The more you put in there, the more we're all happy. But
Not me.
Why not you, Rob?
Remember Avengers 2? When we all
yes.
went, I fell asleep.
Ian Sachs, right? I was incredibly disappointed. Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier, hands down a better movie than the Avengers 2. I mean, part of it was the Avengers 1 set the bar so high, but still, I walked away very disappointed from the Avengers 2. And even my brother, who is the kind of the guru on all this kind of pop culture stuff, he felt the same way.
Oh yeah, you
It's
know,
disappointing.
it's like watching if you saw the last Transformers movie. Did you see it?
I did. I actually really liked it.
I just feel it's like too much action, not enough like plot line. Like
It was very long. It was very long.
And Iron Man does not create what was the villain's name? I'm forgetting. That's how you know Ultron.
Ultron, yes.
Ant-Man creates Ultron. Henry Pym creates Ultron, not Iron Man.
Yeah, that's true.
That's Ant-Man's creation.
That's a good point.
I mean, the only cool thing was the Vision, which I think I remember getting him as an action figure. The Vision was the sickest character out there.
Yeah, he was cool. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't crazy about the additions of the new good guys to the Avengers team either. I just thought they were kind of like bland. They were all right.
Yeah, the new ones, yeah, you know, Scarlet Witch was all right. And then Quicksilver really wasn't anything spectacular in the last Avengers. Because, you know, X-Men set the tone with their Quicksilver. Because the kid was absolutely comedic who they had. He was so great.
I actually did not see it.
You didn't see X-Men Days
Hey,
of Future
Dad's here.
Past?
My dad is now in the building. We have many fans in there. Wow, that's really cool. I told you we were going to have some things brought to us. But one more sports thing before we go to our second break on part 2. Rob, Johnny Manziel. He's a guy we've talked about. It's funny, when we were both kind of doing our demo show to be modeled to see if we could make it on the e-board, I think Johnny Manziel was one of the segments that we did. And obviously now it's kind of been established he can have zero contact with his ex-girlfriend. But it's one of those stories where you could take many angles on it, but I don't think there's any angle bigger than... There's no bigger train wreck, I think, currently in pro sports than Johnny Manziel.
Hey, one thing I will say, he does take an awesome mugshot.
That was a very interesting approach to it.
Yeah, I mean, I have lost so much respect for Johnny Manziel.
How could you have any?
I mean, the guy made his Joe? He probably made like $5 million, a couple $1 million.
I mean, he had the Nike endorsement. He was a first-round pick.
And now it's your career's over. Nobody's gonna want you back. Like at this part, I would go. I want Jamarcus Russell back in the NFL over Johnny Manziel.
Well, that's what I want to ask you. We rank, and Johnny Manziel wasn't obviously as high a pick as a Ryan Leaf or a Jamarcus Russell, but when you try to follow potential of the player and you try to evaluate the money that they made and all those other things and the bust factor. Where does let's do Russell, let's do Ryan Leaf, and then let's do Manziel. Manziel not drafted as high as the other two, but I think coming off the Heisman Trophy, his college career warranted, and he did come in the NFL with a lot of red flags. If you had to rank the three of them in terms of who was the biggest bust, who do you say?
Oh, man.
It's a tough question. I mean, they're all quite considerable busts.
I would say Leaf. Leaf as my number one
because of Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Leaf was supposed to be. He could have been the Colts pick in that draft.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be the new son, the one who was supposed to lead, win a championship. I would put Manziel second and Jamarcus third. I mean, I think the expectations were set a little bit too high for Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, it's true.
Being the fact that it's LSU, and LSU, you really don't have that great of a quarterback coming out from the school. We've looked over the last couple of years. Nothing spectacular coming out.
And Al Davis was the one who wanted to draft Jamarcus Russell. Lane Kiffin, who was their coach at the time, he wanted Calvin Johnson. And I think we all kind of saw, even Calvin Johnson, he was on a team that lost every game. It didn't really affect his play. He's still one of the best we've seen in a long time. So I agree with that ordering. I do. I think you have to look at it in terms of who is there as well. And with Peyton Manning there, that probably makes Ryan Leaf one. Manziel, the Heisman Trophy, everything that he did, but who was there really around him? So I think 2 is fair for him. And then Jamarcus Russell, I think a lot of people agreed. Like, is this really guy going to be what the Raiders thought he was going to be? I mean, he held out for so long to get that extra money in his deal. There was a lot of red flags from the start, but Rob, there are no red flags with you. There have never been red flags. He's got a clean slate, a clean stamp of approval, no matter who you ask. But we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to go and meet some people, and then we will be back as soon as we can.